Hello traders, good day, Vladimir here. This is the live market review, 8th of June 2017. Well, the market is waiting to the results from the UK elections. According to the last polls, which don't really mean nothing, but especially in the UK, as we already learned after Brexit. But still, according to the polls, May should remain on the chair, and the numbers might be disappointing for her, but that is probably the trend, the current trend of the elections. Meanwhile, the market is moving slow on many of the pairs, zigzagging on others, which make the trading decisions and entry currently on some of them irrelevant. So we will want to wait for clearer setups and get ready, and there are some forming for us. But first of all, let's get over the opportunities we have been talking about and we cover. OZN still inside a potential 4-hour chart ranging conditions, if that turned to be the false break, and still holding the trend line here. So if it returns in making the false break, that could be the call for a short. Breaking and holding above it would bring us to the possibility to go and be trading the triangle, which means 83.70 approximately could be the next zone for possible next sell-off. So we keep an eye here in terms of here we are in terms of the dates. Let's remove that. In terms what's going on here? In terms of the dates, as we suggested yesterday, 7th, which still relevant for today, of course, and if not, the next important day will be only next week, and the levels a bit higher, around 83.70 or slightly lower for both charts, like the daily and 1 hour. 4-hour chart suggested that a bit higher, as we just saw, 84 zone. So we will see if it doesn't hold from here. We're going for the next zone, which would be right here, 83.70, maybe slightly higher before we make the down move. The triangle from the daily chart, this one. Okay, we're looking here for sells, of course, as suggested. We've been talking about EuroCAD yesterday, and we got the move we wanted yesterday, right after the double breakout, and now we have a bullish hidden divergence, another 2 waves down move, which on the 15 minutes can be seen even better. So as long as this low of the 1 hour chart holds, we are after possible retraces and move to the upside. Technically, very good chance that we are for the 153, 154 zone. Very good chance we already stopped, right? But currently the second falls. But in order to make it official stop, we still need to go below this low, and then we can go and sell rallies. Okay. So meanwhile, the sell setups are of course welcome. We currently don't have any, but on the same side, buy setups are still relevant, which means wherever the market decide to go here is still correct and relevant. And we can still hold this range or bigger range and look for these buys. Okay. Keep an eye on the elections today that could have an impact on the Euro peers, even a lot. And that's one of them. Next one on the list, Euro franc. We've been talking about yesterday for buys. On the 1 hour chart, we got the buy idea triggered, get a correction. After the convergence, we get a move after the convergence. Now we're pulling back, bullish hidden divergence, and same story. We are after buys as long as this low holds, if there will be relevant setups for us. False breaks, trendline breakouts, convergence principle, false breaks, and reversal. So for example, just for example, like this, boom, higher highs, retrace and buys. Okay, that's one example, and again all relevant as long as we hold here. Break below that, opens the door for potential move to below 108, maybe even all the way to 107.50 zone. Next one, New Zealand dollar reached and still holding the amazing zone for possible sell-off. We got one false break right here and a second one right here. So we need to go below these lows, get a retrace, and we are after sells right after that. Do not get tempted to get in a sell for any price. Wait for the convergences, because if it doesn't hold the convergences, there is pretty serious chance we are for the top of the weekly range, which is around slightly below the 174, and that's more than doable, especially if we put here this cycle. We are currently on the 261.8, which is the triple cycle. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, but it could turn to be a special cycle, bringing us to this area and from there sells. Okay, so don't get tempted. We are long as the false breaks and convergence did not complete, and same said with the New Zealand and Canadian. Technically it has room to 0.99, which would be still relevant, but we already have one false break and one false break here. So what we need now, that's to go and create convergence. Currently there are no good false breaks to rely on. So what I would suggest instead is get triple cycle down, double cycle correction, and breakout, and then go for sell. As long as it didn't happen, don't consider to jump in. And for those of you who are still holding the buys, there is no reason to actually give it up. Okay, so again, if you are in buys, you cannot go and hold until the false break and convergence they don't complete. If you cashed out your buys, by the way, I did. I was long here and I cashed, had a very good risk reward in total. And now I'm looking for the next setups, which could happen from here or from 0.99, which again would be correct. Pound dollar, euro dollar are irrelevant at that stage, so I ignore them a bit. Euro pound starts to be interesting because we do want to go for sell, but on the same side we might get a bullish hidden divergence provided and supported by triple cycle here. 1, 2, 3. That was a false break on tops. That could be the false break on the bottom. So this could become a very nice buy zone. We have the bullish divergence forming there. Many things would be depend and decided with the elections today. But watch what's interesting here. We have a supportive zone for it. We have the channel. We have the dates to come right, starting from right of the end of this week and beginning of the next week. So that could go and start to form the buys for us. 4-hour chart has the supportive zone and buy action zones. 1-hour chart get the cycles. So what do we actually need here? We need false breaks. Boom, 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 right? Higher highs, and we buy after pullbacks. 2, breakout, and we buy. Safest plan here, right? Or trendline breakout after we crossed here, right? Trendline breakout. Let's put the other color so you can see it better. Here, trendline breakout, pull back into, retest that, breakout, and we are in a buy with the protection of last low. Remember, it should be a risk reward trade. If you get good risk reward, that's a valid setup. If not, that's a setup we will not want to trade. Next one on the list, we have that's the euro versus the kiwi, a pair we have been analyzing already, starting from yesterday. We are below this area, which means we are in a good technical buys. Note a divergence here, not completed 100% yet, which means we are in potential zone yet. We are still around the 61.8. We already had one false break, which was here. That could turn to be the second, and if it does, that's what we do. Okay, if it does turn to be the false break here, we can mark this trend line, break out above it, and retrace in 2 waves on lower time frames, and we got a setup to buy here. First target 38.2 of the double cycle. If we go lower from here and don't complete the false break and trendline breakout, the next place for us to watch for the possible buys would be around 154. Okay, and the last one on the list will be Nasdaq, which is on a great level of the daily cycles. This is a special cycle from daily. Divergence is there, rocking, screaming. 1 hour chart has 2 false breaks in a row. What we need for that is the breakout of this low. Let me just put the breakout of this low, retrace, and we are after sells. Okay, if the high would be broken before we got this setup right here, then invalidate the sell idea plan. That would be all for today. There are much more potentials forming. By the way, Aussie franc, those of you who are in Aussie franc, as suggested yesterday, every 2 waves down, we are for buys. We got the 2 waves down here. We got a bullish hidden divergence. We got the buy continuation. Those of you who are long, remember, we are long for 074 zone, 074 or 75, where from we would probably stop for short term, looking for short term pullbacks, and then rebuy for long term. That will be all for today. Thanks very much for watching. And tomorrow is Friday. We don't have new setups, so we go with the ones we have currently and wait for the setups to form. Forcing is not what we need to do. We are waiting for the right setups to form. That's all. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy weekend to come. I'll see you again on the next week. Thanks for your time. Yours, Vladimir Ribakov.